Anthony Joshua, which was a Lexus SUV, was involved in the accident under circumstances currently being investigated. He was seated at the rear of the vehicle and sustained minor injuries and is currently...
Exclusive reports claim that Jake Paul visited Anthony Joshua in the hospital following Joshua's terrifying car crash. According to witnesses, Jake Paul was seen walking into Joshua's hospital room with a demeanor that immediately caught attention. Just days earlier, Anthony Joshua had gone out of his way to visit Jake Paul after Paul suffered an injury. Now, with the situation reversed, many fans are questioning Jake Paul's intentions and keeping him firmly under public scrutiny. Online discussions have intensified, with some reports and fan theories suggesting that Joshua's recent fight with Jake Paul is the reason he is now dealing with so much pain. The timing of the crash, coming only days after their bout, has raised eyebrows among fans and insiders alike. This has led to growing suspicion and heated debate across social media platforms. At the same time, it is important to clearly state that there is no confirmed evidence proving that Jake Paul or the Paul brothers were involved in causing the accident. Claims about investigations and deeper connections remain unverified and are based on speculation rather than established facts. Still, the unusual timing and circumstances have fueled questions, leaving many people wondering whether Anthony Joshua's accident has a more troubling backstory or if it was simply a tragic coincidence. Just days earlier, Anthony Joshua had visited Jake Paul in the hospital, showing respect and sportsmanship after Paul's injury. Now, with the situation reversed, Jake Paul's appearance at Joshua's hospital bedside has sparked debate. To some fans, the visit feels carefully timed or staged, which has raised eyebrows online. Supporters are arguing over whether this moment simply reflects the aftermath of their fight or if there is something more behind Joshua's accident than what has been publicly explained. At the same time, it is important to be clear that there is no evidence suggesting Jake Paul had any involvement in the crash. These discussions are driven by suspicion and emotion, not confirmed facts, but they continue to fuel conversation as fans search for meaning in the timing and circumstances.
Of the pair playing table tennis shared just hours before the crash. Longtime strength and conditioning coach Sinagami also killed. He was by Joshua's side for this victory just 10 days ago.
Anthony Joshua!
Taking on YouTuber Jake Paul in a multi-million-dollar fight in Miami. His one-time rival sharing these posts in the wake of the crash. Life is so much more important than
Claims about FBI involvement have added a serious and unsettling tone to this developing story. Online discussions suggest that authorities showed interest in the situation, and fans point to reports that Jake Paul and Logan Paul were not at home when officials allegedly arrived. This absence has only increased suspicion in the eyes of some fans, especially given the timing so soon after the recent fight. As Anthony Joshua focuses on his recovery, the behavior and silence of the Paul brothers have kept both the public and the boxing community on edge, with many wondering whether the crash was more than a tragic coincidence. However, it is critical to clearly state that there is no confirmed evidence proving FBI involvement, nor is there any verified link between Jake Paul, Logan Paul, and Anthony Joshua's accident. These claims remain unproven and are largely driven by online speculation, not official statements or facts. Boxing journalist Gareth Davis added another layer to the conversation by discussing the risks surrounding the Jake Paul fight and contrasting that environment with Anthony Joshua's professionalism, discipline, and class. Davis highlighted how Joshua has consistently carried himself like a champion, both inside and outside the ring. While Jake Paul has faced consequences for his own actions in the past, some fans are now speculating that rivalry and competitive tension may have gone too far. The continued talk of investigations, verified or not, has only intensified public debate. Fans see Joshua's calm and composed response as further proof of his champion mindset, even in the face of trauma. At the same time, rumors surrounding the Paul brothers continue to circulate, fueling theories that their competitive nature may have crossed a dangerous line. Until official facts are released, the situation remains a mix of concern unanswered questions, and heightened emotions across the boxing world.
How are we feeling, AJ?
AJ.
How are you? Let's go. Right, yeah? Let's go. Holiday. Cheers. Enjoy, yeah?
How was your night last night?
Good, mate.
Jake Paul's reaction to Anthony Joshua's crash immediately set off intense debate online, with many fans questioning the sincerity behind his hospital visit. Given what some perceive as unusual or evasive behavior from the Paul brothers, combined with unverified online claims about investigations, a section of the public has interpreted Jake Paul's actions as calculated rather than genuinely compassionate. In contrast, Anthony Joshua's survival and calm demeanor during such chaos have stood out, making his response appear composed and dignified while doubts linger around Paul's intentions. Social media quickly exploded with opinions, theories, and heated arguments. Every statement, appearance, and silence has been closely examined. As Joshua focuses on recovery, scrutiny on the Paul brothers has only intensified, with the boxing world watching their every move more carefully than ever before. The timing of Anthony Joshua's crash, coming so soon after his fight with Jake Paul, has kept fans on edge. Many believe the coincidence is too striking to ignore, even though it must be stressed that no confirmed evidence has linked Jake Paul or his brother to the accident. Still, rumors and speculation continue to circulate online, fueled by past rivalries, hospital visits, and lingering tensions. Through all of this, Anthony Joshua's survival has become a symbol of strength and resilience. Yet questions surrounding Jake Paul remain unresolved in the public eye, keeping the boxing community glued to every new development as they wait for clarity, facts, and official confirmation. The timing of Anthony Joshua's accident, coming just 10 days after his fight with Jake Paul, has raised serious concern among fans. Many are asking whether this was simply a tragic stroke of bad luck, or if something more troubling could be involved. Questions and suspicions about the Paul brothers have spread quickly online, even as no proof has been presented. The crash itself was nearly fatal, and Joshua's survival has been described by many as remarkable. His ability to come through such a violent incident has only strengthened his image as a resilient and heroic figure in the sport. As speculation around the Paul brothers continues to grow, the boxing community finds itself divided, caught between shock over the accident and suspicion about possible foul play. What remains clear is Anthony Joshua's strength and composure in the face of danger. As the world watches closely, his recovery and response to this moment continue to command respect, while unanswered questions keep fans and commentators deeply engaged.
In fact, some very interesting and germane points you make there in this moment, Raheem. That I think what I've noticed, that obviously there were a kind of panoply of opinions about him fighting Jake Paul to take it back a week and a half. I mean, I was critical of that fight being signed, first of all, because I worried about the dangers for Jake Paul. He got his jaw broken at the end of the day, and kind of used the scars as a flag in his new moon, delusionally optimistic in his words, as he is about these things. So Anthony Joshua went to America a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, played the role which he needed to play, was very
Tyson
classy.
Fury's reaction highlights just how serious Anthony Joshua's crash truly was, especially with the heartbreaking loss of two close members of Joshua's team. While fans are relieved and thankful that Joshua survived, the tragedy surrounding the accident cannot be ignored. Fury offered prayers and showed clear respect for Joshua, recognizing the gravity of the moment and the pain involved. His response reflected the mood across boxing, where sympathy and concern outweigh rivalry. At the same time, fans online have continued to debate suspicious circumstances, linking the timing of the crash to Joshua's recent fight with Jake Paul. Some discussions have also referenced unverified claims about the Paul brothers being under investigation. It is important to stress that no confirmed evidence has been presented to prove any involvement by the Paul brothers. These conversations are driven by speculation rather than facts. Still, Joshua's strength and resilience in the aftermath have only reinforced his reputation as a fighter who repeatedly overcomes adversity and tragedy. Joe Rogan also shared a chilling observation, pointing out how close Anthony Joshua came to losing his life. Details surrounding the crash, including reports that Joshua may not have been wearing a seatbelt, added another disturbing layer to an already shocking incident. Rogan's comments focused on how fragile life can be, even for elite athletes at the top of their game. As rumors and theories continue to circulate online, again, without confirmed proof, fans have been intensely scrutinizing every update. Joshua's remarkable survival has elevated his status in the eyes of many, while questions and suspicions keep the public on edge. The boxing world now waits for clear facts, hoping the accident was simply a tragic twist of fate and not something more sinister, as Anthony Joshua continues his recovery under the watchful eyes of fans worldwide. Jon Fury's emotional message reflects the relief and deep respect the boxing world feels for Anthony Joshua. Surviving a crash that took the lives of two close team members shows just how narrowly Joshua escaped a devastating outcome. The incident has left fans shaken, fully aware of how close things came to ending very differently. At the same time, suspicion toward the Paul brothers has grown among sections of the online community, largely because of the timing of the accident and unverified claims circulating on social media. It is important to be clear that there is no confirmed evidence linking the Paul brothers to the crash, and talk of investigations remains speculation rather than established fact. What stands out most is Joshua's resilience in the face of tragedy. His response has gone beyond that of a fighter, showing mental strength, composure, and character that continue to inspire the boxing world. The overwhelming support pouring in highlights how seriously this incident is being taken, while also drawing a sharp contrast in the eyes of fans between Joshua's dignity and the controversy-driven narratives surrounding others.
I hear what you're saying. You're probably saying, what the hell has this got to do with Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul? Well, this is where it gets...
Oleksandr Usyk's statement reflects the genuine concern and deep respect that exists across the boxing world for Anthony Joshua. The fact that Joshua survived the crash, while two close friends lost their lives, highlights how fragile life can be and how serious the situation truly was. Usyk's words focused on empathy, loss, and humanity rather than rivalry. His show of support stands in clear contrast to the scrutiny surrounding the Paul brothers, whose behavior has raised questions among some fans. However, it is important to state clearly that there is no confirmed evidence linking them to the accident. The suspicions circulating online are based on speculation, not verified facts. What has stood out to many is Joshua's ability to remain composed and focused on recovery despite being surrounded by tragedy. That strength has elevated his standing among fellow fighters and earned widespread respect. Usyk's response shows what true championship character looks like, putting rivalry aside and offering compassion and solidarity when it matters most.
Oh, he was on top of the world. Apparently, he'd pocketed $92 million from his Jake Paul fight. The American audience was in love with him. His star was bigger than ever. And then just yesterday, we see footage like this of AJ being pulled from the wreckage in a situation where if he'd just sat on the other side of the car, they wouldn't have been pulling him out alive. There's no way he would have survived. And it puts everything into perspective, this.
Eddie Hearn has emphasized how crucial it is to provide immediate care and support to Anthony Joshua and his family during this incredibly difficult period. With two members of Joshua's team tragically losing their lives and Joshua himself recovering from injuries that could have been life-threatening, the emotional impact has been overwhelming for everyone involved. At the same time, online discussion has intensified around the Paul brothers, with fans pointing to what they describe as suspicious behavior and repeating claims about an FBI investigation. It is important to be clear that there is no confirmed evidence connecting the Paul brothers to the accident, and no verified information proving any official investigation related to them. These claims are driven by speculation and emotion rather than established facts. What remains undeniable is Anthony Joshua's courage and focus in the face of tragedy. His calm, professional approach during recovery has reinforced the respect many already have for him, both as an athlete and as a person. The boxing community has united around him, making his health, safety, and recovery the top priority. Hearn's message serves as a reminder that, beyond rumors and headlines, compassion, humanity, and care must come first when lives are lost and someone is fighting to heal after such a shocking event. This update highlights the gravity of Anthony Joshua's crash and the heartbreaking loss of two close friends. Liam Guff's focus on condolences and prayers reminds fans that, beyond the competition, human life and relationships are what matter most. Joshua's miraculous survival has only added to his legendary status, showing his resilience in the face of overwhelming danger. Meanwhile, suspicion and speculation around the Paul brothers continue to circulate online, keeping the boxing world tense as fans try to make sense of the situation. Yet, support for Joshua remains unwavering, proving that even in a sport defined by rivalries, empathy, respect, and solidarity takes center stage when tragedy strikes. The response from the community shows that boxing is not just about fights. It's about humanity and standing together in moments of crisis.
I mean,
That's bonkers. Thank God he didn't have a seatbelt on. I never say that. Thank God he didn't have a fucking seatbelt on, because if he did,
there's no way.
he would be dead.
There's
Probably,
no way.
or fucking severe.
Frank Warren's reaction highlights just how serious Anthony Joshua's accident was and the deep concern it has caused throughout the boxing world. The fact that Joshua walked away from a crash that tragically claimed 2 lives is almost unbelievable. Warren's words reflect the shock felt by promoters, fighters, and fans alike, reminding everyone that this is not just about a sporting injury. It's about survival, human vulnerability, and the fragility of life. The Paul brothers remain under intense scrutiny, and their suspicious behavior has cast a shadow over an already tragic situation, leading many to question whether more than coincidence is involved. Warren also emphasized the importance of community in boxing, noting that even rivals like Oleksandr Usyk have shown support, proving that compassion and solidarity can outweigh competition. Joshua's resilience and mental strength are being celebrated globally, further cementing his legendary status as he continues to recover and inspire. Chris Eubank Jr. echoed this sentiment, capturing the collective shock and empathy of the boxing world. Surviving a near-fatal crash while losing 2 close companions is an event that transcends sport, and Eubank's measured response highlights the respect and concern professional fighters have for each other beyond competition. The suspicious timing of the crash, along with the ongoing attention on the Paul brothers, has intensified scrutiny, with fans and analysts dissecting every detail from the circumstances of the crash to possible motives. Joshua's emergence as a symbol of resilience underscores solidarity among fighters, even rivals, showing that human life and respect come before competition. This moment amplifies Joshua's heroism, not just for surviving, but for the public display of care, unity, and concern, contrasting sharply with the controversy surrounding the Paul brothers. Tony Bellew offered additional insight into Joshua's state after the accident, noting that despite being dazed, his composure and character remain evident. Bellew emphasized Joshua's compassion and dignity, which stands in stark contrast to the secretive and suspicious behavior attributed to the Paul brothers in online discussions. With the crash occurring just days after Joshua's fight with Jake Paul, speculation about potential foul play has grown. Bellew's perspective reinforces admiration for Joshua, not only for surviving a life-threatening event, but for maintaining empathy and leadership even in the face of danger. The boxing community has rallied around Joshua, celebrating his mental toughness, emotional intelligence, and resilience. His ability to endure such a harrowing experience while remaining a figure of compassion and strength solidifies his legendary status, even as attention continues to focus on the ongoing scrutiny of the Paul brothers and questions surrounding their possible involvement.
You're one lucky lad. God bless you, man. I'm glad you're alive again. Shocked me, it has. Terrible. Anyway, good luck everybody and try and enjoy the new year as much as you can. And
Anthony Joshua's survival from such a horrific crash has sent shockwaves across the boxing world and beyond. The timing, coming just days after his fight with Jake Paul, has sparked widespread questions and speculation. Reports of suspicious behavior from the Paul brothers, coupled with unverified claims of an FBI investigation, have intensified public interest, with fans demanding answers while rallying behind Joshua. What truly stands out is not only Joshua's physical resilience, but also his mental toughness and unwavering composure in the face of tragedy. Losing two close team members in the same accident could have broken anyone, yet Joshua remains a symbol of focus, strength, and leadership. Reactions from fellow fighters and peers, like Oleksandr Usyk, Chris Eubank Jr., Tony Bellew, and even family members highlight the respect and solidarity the boxing community has for him. In contrast, Jake Paul's hospital visit and cryptic behavior have only fueled suspicion, keeping the narrative tense and the conversation active online. Fans are closely following every update, analyzing motives, and admiring Joshua's heroic recovery. This moment is defining for him both inside and outside the ring, showing resilience, courage, and character under unimaginable circumstances. Where do you stand? Do you believe the Paul brothers had any involvement, or was this just an unfortunate accident? Share your thoughts in the comments, join the debate, and make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to stay updated as this story continues to unfold.
Usyk said, "This is an unbelievable loss. Sinna and Latif are two incredible people who were not only part of AJ's team, but also friends. My sincere condolences to their families, loved ones, and everyone who knew them. Anthony Joshua, wishing you a speedy recovery. Stay strong, champion."
Them and the family, anything they need. You know, sometimes when someone is a star, they have a lot of things in their life taken care of for them. So you really have to move into that mode in this situation as well. Make sure obviously they're getting the best medical attention, make sure their family are safe and happy and as happy as can.
Anthony Joshua injured in car accident. Two people who I believe were with Anthony Joshua were friends of his have tragically passed away. Before I carry on reading the article, the two people who have tragically passed, my condolences is all I can say to their friends and families. We'll definitely offer up.
Continues to recover and inspire. Status, while keeping all eyes on the ongoing investigation into the Paul brothers' possible involvement.
He could get seriously hurt. I don't believe Josh would have. I believe Josh might have some